This is John Rawling with Golden Goals. Here taking a look at some of the great moments in the recent years of Sheffield Wednesday's illustrious history. You'll see once again some of the finest goals scored by the men in Wednesday shirts and how they helped take the club to FA Cup glory and league success. This is just one of an official FA series featuring all 22 of the Carling Premiership clubs. We'll be bringing you the golden goals scored by each club in the Football League and the FA Cup over the last decade. Howard Wilkinson, a shrewd manager who'd served his apprenticeship as Notts County coach. Ron Atkinson, flamboyant and extrovert. His teams always brought flair and excitement to the game. Trevor Francis was brought from Queen's Park Rangers and he became player manager when Atkinson moved on. Brian Marwood, a talented winger, joined Wednesday in 1984 and had 3 tremendous seasons. Carl Shutt, a local lad made good. Rejected as a junior, he finally turned full-time pro at 23. Lee Chapman, 6'2" target man, strong and direct, and a prolific goalscorer. David Hirst, signed from Barnsley, a centre-forward with dynamite in both feet. And Carlton Palmer, sometimes he looked ungainly, he was usually effective and played for England. Dalian Atkinson, bought from Ipswich for £450,000, he scored some dazzling goals. Mel Sterland, another Sheffield boy who came up through the juniors to make the right-back spot his own. Chris Woods, signed from Rangers for £1.2 million, Sheffield Wednesday and England #1. John Sheridan, Irish international midfielder signed from Nottingham Forest, a powerful striker of the ball. And Nigel Jemson was a pacey forward who moved from Forest to Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday were in Division 2, despite having one of the best grounds in the country. The previous year they were 4th, just missing out on promotion, led by Jack Charlton, the World Cup hero who'd been their manager since 1977.
Dobson changed his mind and escapes. No, he doesn't. Oh, they all stood and waited. And Bannister opens the scoring. Sheffield Wednesday have the lead by courtesy of the Burnley defence.
But despite the goals and the support at the end of the season, Wednesday had failed to get promotion again. Jack Charlton resigned, and it was Howard Wilkinson who was chosen as the man to take control. Peter Eustace took the job as Wilkinson's assistant. The Sheffield public demanded First Division football. Wednesday hadn't provided it since 1975. Before the new season, Imre Varadi moved from Newcastle for £150,000.
Still Oliver. Cunningham's on the far post with a header back, and Bannister was there, and it's gone through for a goal. Sheffield Wednesday's pressure pays off with 10 minutes to go. Cunningham knocked it back, and Bannister, it might have just taken a slight deflection on its way through, but David Harvey had no chance.
Assessing the possibilities at the throw, Mike Lyons looks to meet it. It might come for Megson, it might come here for Shelton. Gary Shelton. In spectacular fashion. And Sheffield Wednesday score from a set piece that they've rehearsed countless times this season, and practice has made perfect. It was the long throw from Sterling that caused the initial problem. Lyons made a nuisance of himself, and Newcastle just couldn't clear it on from Megson, and Shelton found the corner with the overhead kick.
Wednesday were back where they belonged, in the First Division, promoted after finishing runners-up and helped by 21 goals from Gary Bannister. Brian Marwood joined from Hull City in August, a marvellous little winger. And Lee Chapman had also arrived during the close season. The big striker cost £100,000 from Sunderland.
Waiting for support, eventually finding Marwood. Now what can the ex-Hull City man do here? Oh, 2 of them under challenge. Chapman fell down. Varadi has to chase. He delivers another cross. It's going to be close, and Marwood! It's in! What a fine goal from Brian Marwood! Chapman, great chance! He's lobbed the keeper, and it's 2-1. The referee, though, looks to his linesman. No, the goal is going to stand, but the goalkeeper is hurt. As Lee Chapman goes away to celebrate his first goal at Hillsborough, Wednesday have gone from 1 down to 2-1 up in the space of 2 minutes. Isn't he pleased?
Finding Walsh, it's his walk. There's so much skill for Walsh. Does tend occasionally to rather over-elaborate, but certainly Grobbelaar has there. Berardi, has he scored? He has! Oh, that's a remarkable goal. Now Sterling for Wednesday. Good play there, lovely interchange with Marwood. Sterling driving it in. A goal from Shelton. Grobbelaar couldn't hold it. And Gary Shelton has made it 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Halfway through the second half. And have Sheffield Wednesday now put this game beyond Liverpool's reach. There's a shot from Sterling. Grobbelaar couldn't hold it, and it was squeezed in by Shelton.
Lyons, then Berardi, now Shelton, and they've left Oliver. And Blair! Clinically struck. Southall left with no chance. A reflection of the improved fortunes of Andy Blair these days.
Wednesday had finished their first season back in the top flight in 8th place. Imre Berardi was the leading scorer with 21 goals, and now Carl Schutt joined from non-league Spalding United.
Chamberlain, little burst of pace there. 5 minutes left. Blair with the cross. Thompson's in there, and Schutt, and Marwood. He's got it. It's 2-1.
And Smith picked it on off the line by Devonshire, I think. Morris. And driven again. And a goal. Worthington is the scorer. Nigel Worthington has marked his return with a goal. His first game since New Year's Day. There was a clearance off the line by Devonshire. Morris tried to get it back in, and Worthington, normally a left-footed player, drove it through a crowd of players. The game being played at a very fast pace. Nexon forward this time. And Schutt came inside well. And a good effort. And a goal! Wow, this is the man they're talking about. And he's made it 2-0. Carl Schutt. And he's not only done that, he picked it up from Marwood and cut inside George Parris, who tried a lunging tackle, but Schutt got a right foot shot inside Park's near post. These are anxious moments. Everton having just scored. Hart is there. Shelton's arriving away by Stevens as far as Snowden. Back in again. Hart and Chapman. Hart header. Schutt! Yes, the equaliser! Carl Schutt! 3 minutes after going behind, Sheffield Wednesday are level. What a reply. It was instant.
What a reply indeed. A fine cross coming in here. Carl Schutt getting the final touch. And just to think that he'd been rejected at Hillsborough as a junior, now he was back as a hero. Wednesday were to lose that match 2-1, but they finished in 5th place in the league. Howard Wilkinson nevertheless decided that he had to strengthen the side. He'd spotted a striker of rare talent, David Hirst, and he paid $200,000 to bring him from Barnsley.
Stolen.
Johnson beating McMahon, releasing Marwood. Lee Chapman's waiting in the middle. And there he is! Lee Chapman, and Wednesday in the lead.
Sterling. Here's Marwood. Did so well to turn and get in his cross. Hart scrambling. It's there, Nixon.
Marwood, pursued by Woodthorpe, and dispossessed by the 17-year-old youngster. He's been attracting the attention of a lot of big clubs. Oh, Chapman! It's 1-0. Morris. Marwood. Nixon. Into Bradshaw.
Not one of Sheffield Wednesday's best seasons, they only finished in 13th place, although Lee Chapman had led the line to great effect, with 22 goals, making him the leading scorer.
Galvin. Here's Sterling. Now then for Jacobs, he's got Proctor away to his left here. This is more promising for Wednesday. Proctor away from Gregory. And Mixon. A finely worked goal then by Sheffield Wednesday, who can't wait to get back and on with the action. The Wednesday fans applaud. And suddenly a lifeline has been given them by Gary Mixon. Perfect finish to a flowing move. Proctor's cross. And Mixon. The header beyond Peter Shaw.
Wednesday finished in 11th place. Lee Chapman, the leading scorer once again, but at the end of the season he left to play in France. Carlton Palmer joined from West Brom for £750,000, a vital part of the Wednesday midfield.
Worthington to take the call. Sterling, 1-1.
There's Sterling. Wednesday taking their time at the back. Madden forward. Hirst given a second attempt. Oh, nice little touch there. And a very good touch there. 3 goals in 3 minutes. Hirst pulls it back to 2-1.
Wednesday beat Arsenal 2-1. Here's one of the goals started by Laurie Madden. He finds David Hirst and then back to Nigel Pearson for the goal.
There's Berardi. He's got Johnson in the middle. Couldn't make contact. Worthington. Nixon. Kept his balance well. And Hirst puts it in. Johnson missing a second opportunity there, but Hirst made no mistake.
Siggy Johnson here. Finds Gary Megson. Megson to the prolific goal scorer Imre Berardi. Megson again. Finds Berardi in acres of space, and his cross pinpoints David Reeves. Wednesday win 2-1.
Proctor's corner. They've left Hodgson. 2-1. 3 minutes left, and that'll give Wednesday heart. And Hodgson's message is plain. Let's get on with it. They left him in the middle, totally unmarked, and paid for it.
Everton struggling to get it away. Sterling! The shot found a way through.
Megson. Worthington with an awful lot of space. Wednesday come again. That's not a very good header. Mel Sterling, the fullback, right up there. And that's the equaliser. Took a deflection. But it'll go down to Mel Sterling's disaster for Norwich. Sterling's 4th goal of the season. Leighton, that's not a very good punch. Johnson will try his luck. West, 1-1.
Branson. Down by West. Oh, and it'll come for Sterling, and the top scorer adds to his tally. It's his 6th of the season.
In the FA Cup, there were to be goals by the hatful for Wednesday against Torquay United. The opener scored by Siggy Johnson. Mark Proctor starts off the second. Finds David Hodgson in acres of space on the left. But runs into a blind alley and instead decides to turn it back to Ian Cranson. Ball comes all the way back to Hodgson. That was number 2. Here comes number 3. Imre Varadi making the run into the box. Still, there were more to come. Chris Turner with a long kick out. Goes all the way to Imre Varadi for his second of the match. Fine tackle. Comes to Proctor. Good passing move. And there's Proctor making space into the box. It finished Sheffield Wednesday 5, Torquay United 1.
Roger Paulley making sure that Ronnie Whelan gets away the full distance. He was just holding up Sheffield Wednesday from taking the free kick. The movement involved Pearson and West. West going round the back. And it's Varadi. And then Proctor! The goal is given. Sheffield Wednesday, struggling at the bottom of the First Division, have beaten Mike Hooper. It all came from a clever free kick. West pulled away to head it back. Then Varadi got a touch. Out came Hooper, but he was beaten to it by Proctor, and it was over the line, said the referee, who was very well placed to make that decision. And Mark Proctor catches Liverpool out. Rostron, though, to take the corner. West, 2-0, Varadi! Another set piece. Hooper already conducting the inquest. Why was it flicked on, perhaps, is the message. Why didn't they deal with it at the near post? But they didn't. West guided it on. Varadi just there for that sort of occasion. And a rip-roaring start by Sheffield Wednesday. 2 goals in 14 minutes. Cranson. Oh, Varadi will chase this one. And Lukic has got to come. And Imre Varadi has beaten him.
Howard Wilkinson had resigned to take over at Leeds United. Peter Eustace lasted just 4.5 months, and then it was big Ron Atkinson who became the new man in charge.
Galvin. Sheffield Wednesday striving to rescue something on Ron Atkinson's first day. Galvin. Oh, and it's fallen perfectly, and it's Mark Proctor who gets the late equaliser.
Against Charlton, a long through ball. Charlton didn't look in any sort of trouble, but then David Hirst nips in. Wednesday's second came from a free kick, taken by Mark Proctor. Proctor the cross, Johnson the header. Wednesday going well by now. Johnson onto Hirst. Hirst evades the tackle, looks for support, and it comes from Tony Galvin. Wednesday win 3-1.
Foster. And that's hit Hirst. And that's hit the back of the net. Well, Hirst was lucky in 2 senses there. Certainly lucky when the ball hit him, and also the way it sat up. But didn't he strike it well then? Hirst giving chase. Just have a quick check to see who was in the middle. And it's Barrett! The 19-year-old scores with his first touch in the first division. 3 minutes gone. What a fairy story. This is Hirst against Brock. And that's a magnificent left foot from Hirst. There'll be no coming back from that.
Bennett running at the Millwall defence here. And that's a good ball. Millwall's defenders are claiming offside, but Whitten is allowed to run on. And Palmer gives Sheffield Wednesday the lead, his first goal for his new club. Millwall stretched again here. Whitten. And Whitten looking strong and goes on, and he opens his account as well. And Ron Atkinson's new boys have done the trick. 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday really looking rampant here. Hirst is away. Horn backpedaling. Whitten is up in support and he makes it 3-0.
Oh, Hirst's away. They won't catch him, but can he finish it? Yes, he can. David Hirst and Wednesday are in front. That's an enormous kick. Ablett's underneath it. Oh, Barrick! Surprised everybody. Wednesday have got one back.
Again the left foot, again it's swerving in and it's Whitten! A crucial goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Delight mixed with relief for the Wednesday fans. This is a terrible moment for Middlesbrough. Sheffield Wednesday can celebrate. Manager Ron Atkinson joining in on the field. And you can see just how much this victory means. Sheffield Wednesday stay in the first division.
Wednesday had only missed relegation by 3 points, and they managed just 34 league goals. And so, changes. Trevor Francis was to join later in the season as a player after losing his job in charge of Queen's Park Rangers. John Sheridan joined from Nottingham Forest, a £500,000 fee ending his unhappy stay at the City Ground. And Dalian Atkinson was an exciting striker who made his name at Ipswich, and £450,000 brought him north to Hillsborough.
Just over a minute left. Sheffield Wednesday lucky to be only 1 goal down. But Atkinson looking for drama here right at the last. Hirst, it came off Whiteside and Atkinson! Sheffield Wednesday really trying to impose themselves here. And Dalian Atkinson took the shot first time and drove it low beyond Nigel Spink to give Sheffield Wednesday the lead.
Now another example of the scoring power of Dalian Atkinson. The clearance only as far as Carlton Palmer. Palmer lays it back to Phil King. King's cross knocked on beautifully, and there's Atkinson at the far post.
Atkinson, nice touch. Whitten, still Whitten, and that's 2-1. Very well taken.
Wednesday still winning most things in the middle of the field. Palmer on a run down that left side. Hirst coming in, and they deserve that. 9 minutes into the second half, Wednesday a goal to the good. Last minute now, the home fans desperate to hear that final whistle. What a game this man's had. Dalian Atkinson. And Liverpool are giving him space here. Atkinson, one of the great individual goals of the season. Dalian Atkinson.
Atkinson quickly in, and here is David Hirst. Well, that's nicely done. On a glorious finish from Hirst. Sheridan placing it for Worthington, perhaps. Sent on his way by John Sheridan. That's a good cross. Atkinson, and Queen's Park Rangers caught cold there. Little more than spectators as Atkinson scored. Bennett, here's Sheridan again with space. And Hirst is away through the middle and must score here. That's 2-0. David Hirst, the scorer.
Nigel Worthington aiming to swing a left-footed corner into the area. looking for the big men, and it's Dalian Atkinson again at the far post.
Swung in and they've left Atkinson, who scored. A real surprise for Southampton. Dalian Atkinson. Shirliffe is unmarked, and that's 2-2. Sheridan again. Hirst. Good header, and Wednesday go in front.
Back from Francis. And it's Francis again. And Worthington again. It's drifted in. An absolute freak for Nigel Worthington.
Sheridan. How far up was that? Nearly 30 yards.
Atkinson. Well, they've let him run. Oh, they've got away with it too, or have they? Hirst, they haven't. Hirst. Players peeling off him right and left. Sheridan was one of them. Nigel Worthington, I think, got the decisive touch, and he thinks so too. Snapped up by Sheffield Wednesday again. Carr. Sheridan! Sheffield Wednesday turning on the style. Commentary must be wondering how they can play like they did at the City Ground Nottingham only a week ago, and yet fall apart as they're doing here. Worthington, and that's one for Atkinson.
Carr running at that United defence. Sheridan. Here's Carr again. Atkinson square. And Hirst is on the far post. There he is, Hirst! It's gone in! David Hirst.
Worthington and Francis working the short corner. Peter Shirtliff on the stretch. Sheffield Wednesday short of points, but in front here.
Atkinson. And here's Francis round the back. A chance here for Wednesday, perhaps. Hirst makes it 1-1. Sheridan. Here's Atkinson. Good strike, good goal from Dalian Atkinson.
Hirst. McCall. Francis. Manchester City wanted an offside. It's not been given. Francis makes progress. And a goal scored by David Hirst.
Charlton already down, of course. Wednesday know that nothing short of a win will do here after 4 successive defeats. Sheridan. That's a good ball, Hirst. But Worthington back in again for Hirst. And that's the opener. Atkinson. Nicely done. Palmer and Hirst. 2-1. That could prove to be a vital goal.
Wednesday had spent a season in Division 2, but came back at the first attempt. They also beat Manchester United 1-0 in winning the Rumbelows Cup. Dalian Atkinson had left the club, but Viv Anderson was signed from Manchester United. The former England fullback came on a free transfer. Nigel Jensen joined from Nottingham Forest. The striker cost the Owls £800,000. Chris Woods, the England goalkeeper, was brought south from Rangers for £1.2 million. Trevor Francis took over as manager in June 1991 after the sudden and unexpected departure of Ron Atkinson to Aston Villa. Atkinson had said he wanted to be closer to his home. The Wednesday fans labelled him as a traitor. Ironically, the first game of the season was against Aston Villa. Palmer. That lets loose David Hirst. Superb goal. The Cops celebrated, and well they might have done, because their hero there caught that one absolutely perfectly. Palmer's brave tackle had set him free, and then he looked up, unleashed that left foot shot, and what a goal that was. Wednesday second. From the throw-in, here's David Hirst. Pace and strength, accelerating away from the Villa defence. He finds Danny Wilson, and there's the second. Wilson ecstatic. The Wednesday fans were absolutely delirious. This was the one they wanted to win more than anything. In the end, though, Ron Atkinson had the last laugh. Aston Villa wound up the winners by 3-2.
Wallace. Warhurst saw that it didn't get to speed. And here's Paul Warhurst showing his pace on the counter-attack, and Hirst gets the better of Fairclough, and Sheffield Wednesday are in front, and David Hirst has done the damage yet again. A counter-attack that owed so much to Paul Warhurst in the first place. On and on he went from his defensive duties, and it was Hirst here against Fairclough, and Hirst got the run of the ball, and the shot was perfect, befitting a player who scores here for his club for the 7th consecutive league game, a run that began late last season. And it's Leeds United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Wilson brings the attack left. Sheridan keeps it coming left as well. This is Worthington now. Sheridan up ahead of him. Worthington creating space for the cross. Here's the flick through. Hirst on the left foot. Oh, what a goal for Sheffield Wednesday! That's a quite wonderful strike by Danny Wilson. And Wednesday take the lead with one of the most picturesque goals you could ever see. Worthington had probed on the left. Hirst tried to get involved. He was looking to get it on his left. He didn't need to do. Danny Wilson rounded it off spectacularly. It's his 2nd goal in 3 matches, and he won't enjoy a better one than that. 3 minutes to go. One last surge possibly from Wednesday. They actually conceded a goal on Saturday in the 87th minute. Can they get one here? Hirst might just get it. Is it going in? It is. It could be a winner for Wednesday. And Viv Anderson has stolen in to get a magical goal for Wednesday here. And it could produce a first victory for Trevor Francis as a manager of Sheffield Wednesday. He played his own part with the early ball in. Hirst tussling for the header. Hirst with the shot. Anderson with the header. And it's 2-1 Wednesday.
Wednesday were heading for a big win against Queen's Park Rangers. Carlton Palmer starting off the first, to Sheridan, on to Worthington. Palmer takes the return pass, and here's Phil King. King getting help again from Worthington. Worthington finds Williams, and in the end it's Carlton Palmer. Number 2 started from the goalkeeper, Chris Woods. Out to Paul Warhurst. Finds Phil King. King getting help from Williams. Cross finds Carlton Palmer. There's his 2nd. Carlton Palmer looking like a man bang in form. Woods with the long clearance. On to Williams. Support from Hirst. Carlton Palmer moving up with the attack on the inside, creating the extra man. And there he is, a splendid hat-trick. Nielsen bringing the ball out of defence. Finds Hirst, and Williams back to Hirst. Hirst showing that tremendous pace again, and there's John Sheridan for another splendid goal for Sheffield Wednesday in a match they won by 4-1. Paul Warhurst to King. King finds Carlton Palmer. Palmer's quick cross, and there's Paul Williams. Wednesday's second starts with a free kick. Palmer makes the near post run, and it comes to Trevor Francis, who shows that the old magic's still there as Wednesday beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. Here against Manchester City. Hyde to Wilson, back to Nigel Pearson. Pearson spreads it to Nielsen. Nielsen looking for the run from Watson. Watson round the back of the defence, and Paul Williams gets in for the final touch. Wednesday win 1-0. The perpetual motion man, the American John Harkes, makes the interception, finds Warhurst. Warhurst back to Palmer. Harkes with the run. And Paul Williams makes the run into the box for the final touch, the headed goal. Wednesday weren't done though. Paul Warhurst starts this. To Roland Nielsen, Nigel Jensen. John Harkes picking up on the right, and his cross found by Nigel Worthington. Wednesday 2, Southampton 0. Worthington with the throw-in. Finds Carlton Palmer. Palmer gets support from Phil King. Back to Worthington. Worthington, the right foot cross, and there's John Harkes. Perfectly timed run, powerful header. Wednesday draw 1-1 with Liverpool. Trevor Francis says, leave it to me. Nigel Pearson gets the goal. Another big win for Wednesday coming up against Crystal Palace. Woods out to King. There's Williams. Delightful little back heel, and Nigel Worthington slides in for the first. Woods again, a long clearance. Carlton Palmer with the challenge, and David Hirst in space. Superb finish. Short corner to Wilson. There's Nielsen, and Hirst gets his second. Phil King. Punts it forward to Williams. King again, providing the extra man. Hirst on the receiving end, and it's Carlton Palmer who gets the last touch. Wednesday beating Crystal Palace emphatically. The final scoreline 4-1. David Hirst was back from injury, the star man, and as Trevor Francis agreed, it looked as though he'd never been away.
He's come back a little bit quicker than I anticipated. It's just been over 4 weeks. He was short of match fitness, but it didn't show today. He scored two very good goals, and throughout the game was a constant danger to the Crystal Palace defence. I was very pleased with him.
It's always hard to get back into the game. I mean, the first 15-20 minutes you're still like trying to make the runs here, there and everywhere, trying to please the manager, and hopefully I didn't do too bad today.
It really isn't hard to see why David Hirst has become such a hero to the Hillsborough faithful. Here against Luton, King's free kick. Williams gets the touch, and then back to Hirst, and there's that opportunism within the box once again. But talk about opportunism, and this is what Nottingham Forest and Brian Clough had been missing. John Sheridan, magnificent. Phil King gives a little touch, and the barefaced cheek of it, that was a perfect volley.
Chelskis got in. The foot was a little high, but it didn't defend the referee, and I think he was right. But Wednesday doing well to win it back immediately. Palmer retrieved the situation, sets Worthington going. The ball into the middle lane for Hirst's head. Absolutely brilliant. And David Hirst maintains his impressive scoring form here at Hillsborough. It was beautifully laid on for him by Worthington's ball. Worthington on the left foot, it's the one he favours, and Hirst darting in between the defenders, fires it past Schmeichel with the head, and it's goal number 7 for David Hirst. He got the winner against Manchester United the last time they beat them here in March 1990. Corner for Sheridan to take. Wednesday have got only 3 outfield players outside the penalty area. Here is one of them, Roland Nielsen, who whacks it back in. Must be a chance here. Jensen. 2-2. And Nigel Jensen has got his first league goal since joining Wednesday from Nottingham Forest. Certainly an element of fortune after Nielsen had shot. Let's have a look now. Sheridan's corner kick, headed firmly out, and then when Nielsen strikes it first time, it comes off Williams, I think it was, and Jensen just nicks it over the top of Schmeichel, and he's got some glory for himself. Nigel Jensen's second for Wednesday, but his first in the league. He scored in midweek against Manchester City in the Zenith Cup. This one was much more important. Hirst, the delightful flick through, Jensen again! What a wonderful save by Schmeichel. Otherwise, Nigel Jensen really would have crowned his day. The combination with Hirst working to perfection. Well, Nigel Jensen again got in between the last line of defence and the goalkeeper, but Schmeichel really responded superbly. Instinctive save, and now it's a corner. Can Wednesday get anything from this? Yes, they can! It's 3-2, and he has done it! And Nigel Jensen, it's turning into a real birthday for him. And the irony really was that he's profited from a Steve Bruce header which went straight to him. Nigel Jensen's second. There you see it was Webb, in fact. Webb's header, and it landed straight onto Jensen's head, and he tucked it under the crossbar. He's only been on the field a matter of 5 minutes, and he's scored twice. The wall formed. I reckon that Sheridan has actually pulled the ball back a couple of feet from where the actual offence occurred, giving himself a bit of space. King's also there. He's got others lined up alongside him, but Sheridan is generally the free kick taker, and King goes over it. Sheridan curls it in a fine save, but the ball's in the net surely from David Hirst. It is. Wednesday in front. The fans wild, and Seaman had done it all right, but there was no denying Hirst. Goal number 9 for the England man. Sheridan's free kick, beautifully struck, and Seaman did all he could. Hirst did even better.
Here against West Ham, Phil King finds Hirst. Hirst showing he's more than just a goal scorer. A lovely cross, and there's John Harkes. Wednesday's first, here's the second. Harkes starting it off to Jensen, then on to Hirst. Hirst's cross, Jensen makes the run. Wednesday win 2-1. Here against Chelsea. Chris Mark-Williams making a little run to the near post. And in the end, he gets the flick on, and David Hirst scores. David Hirst was in one of those moods. Run down the right by Nigel Jensen. Hirst lurking in the middle. The ball was perfection. Hirst gets his second. Wednesday still not finished. That header sets David Hirst free again. He could have shot, but unselfishly picks out Paul Williams. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Chelsea 0. That man David Hirst scores 2 and makes a third, and the Sheffield Wednesday fans loved it. Paul Warhurst starting this off against Queen's Park Rangers. Carlton Palmer. Good first-time cross. Finds Nigel Jensen, little knock on, and David Hirst again beats his man, hammers it home. A terrible mistake by Sean Teal in the Villa defence. Beautifully weighted cross, and Nigel Jensen gets the goal as Wednesday beat Villa 1-0. Carlton Palmer, Paul Warhurst supporting from the back. Harks, Warhurst on the run. Good strength, turns his man, and David Hirst again the final touch. Palmer to Hirst. His manager Trevor Francis calling for it on the left. Harks and Williams. Sheffield Wednesday were to win this game by 3-2. Here's the Wednesday third. Carlton Palmer. Looking for support, finds Hirst. Hirst back to Harks. Wednesday's third, the win secured. Manchester United, the opposition. Little free kick by Danny Wilson, and Hirst, absolute pile driver. Warhurst with the free kick, onto Hirst. Finds Worthington. Splendid goal. Let's not talk too much about the result. Arsenal won 7-1. Worthington's corner, flicked on, Carlton Palmer on the mark. Same match, Chris Bart-Williams with the free kick, and Viv Anderson up helping the attack as Wednesday beat West Ham by 2-1. Chelsea defence in all sorts of trouble. Williams to Wilson. It's Wednesday's first. Hirst finds Williams. There's young Bart-Williams, and the final touch from Nigel Worthington. The fullback up with the attack. Wednesday lead Chelsea 2-0. So Worthington on the score sheet, and Worthington taking the corner which led to the Sheffield Wednesday third. Looking for the big men. Viv Anderson wins it in the air, and Paul Williams hooks it home. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Chelsea 0. Against Coventry City. Here's Williams. Warhurst. And there's Viv Anderson. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry City 1. Harks finds Williams. Williams, a good run, mazy dribble, and David Hirst, a first-time shot, putting Wednesday ahead 1-0. That's Gary Mabbott's an appalling back pass, and that really was a gift for Paul Williams. Beats Torsvet and then slides it home past two defenders. Sheffield Wednesday beating the London team by 2-0. Roland Nielsen. There's Hyde. The player-manager Trevor Francis. And who else? David Hirst. Francis picking out Hirst's head with pinpoint precision. The county defence could hardly believe it. Against Nottingham Forest. Corner headed on by Shirtliff. David Hirst gets the goal. All through the season, the Championship had looked like a two-horse race. Manchester United and Leeds United. But then in the closing stages, it was Sheffield Wednesday, all of a sudden, who were making ground. That was Palmer setting loose David Hirst. And there's that pace with deadly finishing. What a combination. In the same match, Danny Wilson to Francis. Back to Wilson. Here's Roland Nielsen with the cross. And Nigel Worthington up on the far side again. Wednesday beat Manchester City by 2-0. The Wednesday fans ecstatic. They think Wednesday might just win the title. Worthington finds Wilson. Wilson on to Nielsen. Nielsen, a perfectly weighted little ball for John Sheridan to finish with aplomb. This time against Crystal Palace, John Sheridan's the provider. He puts in the cross, Paul Williams does the rest. Wednesday eventually had to settle for third place behind the champions Leeds United and the runners-up Manchester United. But there were changes made for the new season. Chris Waddle signed by Trevor Francis from Marseille for £1 million. It turned out to be a bargain. And success that season came in the two cup competitions. Here against Cambridge, Wilson working a 1-2 with Bright. And in the end, it's John Harkes who buries it. This is in the third round. The Abbey Stadium, never an easy place to get a result. Wednesday were to come away as the winners. Chris Woods with the long clearance. Looking for Mark Bright. Comes as far as Waddle. Nielsen on the overlap. Lovely cross, and Mark Bright at the near post. The Wednesday fans ecstatic. Their side through. They win 2-1. In the fourth round, the opposition came from Sunderland. It was a close one, but Wednesday squeezed through. Worthington with the cross. Tony Norman won't want to see that too often, and Mark Bright gets the goal that counts. And so to the fifth round and the match against Southend. Paul Warhurst. That was Wednesday's first. They weren't finished yet. And Warhurst gets the second, going all the way. The central defender turned striker gets both goals. Wednesday win 2-0.
Gabbiadini blocks from Palmer. Waddle. Warhurst going through the middle, and this is Warhurst for Wednesday, and it's 2-1. And the goal taken by Warhurst, this converted centre-back who's been one of the sensations of the season, but made by Chris Waddle. It was so quick. If you blinked, you'd have missed the pass, and frankly, the Derby defence did. Warhurst scores yet again, but the ball played by Chris Waddle is so instant, he's split them in half. He's onside, Martin Taylor stands up, but Warhurst tucks it past him for his 15th goal of the season. Hyde. It's a great position for Derby that went begging there. Waddle instead for Wednesday. Looks for Jensen. Oh, Warhurst! And it's 3-3. And Warhurst gets his second, and Derby hang their heads. And really, they threw that away by not making the most of an opportunity at the other end that would have possibly given them a chance for 4-2. by Waddle twice in that attack. Warhurst closing in here. Oh, good touch! Brilliant! Warhurst! He's there again! Well, it's number 17 for Warhurst. And the sign of a good striker, a converted one maybe, but when you miss a chance, don't let it get to you. And here, Waddle plays the first ball through, and the second ball catches out short, and Warhurst got a foot to it.
And so to the semi-final against the old enemy Sheffield United at Wembley. A carnival atmosphere. It seemed that half the city was there. One of the biggest occasions in Sheffield's sporting history, and the day was to belong to Sheffield Wednesday.
Mark Wright makes his way to the edge of the area, moving up and down, and is followed by Dean everywhere he goes. Viv Anderson's come up on the near side as we look. Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack? Oh, he does, and he scores! Anything Paul Gascoigne can do, Chris Waddle can do. Alan Kelly beaten before he touched the ball. It's happened again in a Wembley semi-final. Clean strike, curling away from the goalkeeper. Sheffield Wednesday had the lead, and we've barely played a minute and a half. 12-5 in corners now. Right! And in the end, the easiest goal you could wish for. And where was the man marking him on that post?
Yeah, they'll be very, very disappointed. Tiredness maybe affects the concentration. You see Brian Dean there, gets dragged under the ball, leaves Bright with a free header.
In the final, it was Sheffield Wednesday against Arsenal. They'd already met in the final of the Coca-Cola Cup, and there Arsenal had emerged as the winners by 2-1. And so Trevor Francis led his side out alongside George Graham once again. Would it be an occasion for revenge? Wednesday captained by the vastly experienced Viv Anderson, Chris Wood's a key man in goal, Mark Bright up front, Nigel Worthington, Paul Warhurst, and of course Chris Waddle. A carnival atmosphere then. Would the flair of Wednesday be enough to beat the consistency and determination of Arsenal?
Sheridan, Nielsen, Sheridan again, Warhurst, Worthington, and again Warhurst. They're playing well now, Wednesday. Sheridan's ball in, Bright's flick on, it's going to come to John Harks, and Hirst, goal! David Hirst equalises for Sheffield Wednesday. Trevor Francis's team right back in it. And it was a goal that had looked like coming since half-time. 62 minutes, David Hirst. John Sheridan plunks the ball in. Mark Bright gets the touch away from Linnigan. John Harks, a lovely knockback, very, very unselfish. And Hirst blasts it into the net. Bright's jumping with Linnigan. Here's Hirst. This is Harks. Good ball in. Bright. Not quite. Waddle, is it? It's in. Waddle. Got a shot in there. It may have caught a defender, but it's gone in. And Wednesday are level. Chris Waddle finding space on the left. Has changed the course of the cup final. 69 minutes, Harks cross, half away by Linnigan. It came off Lee Dixon, in fact. Waddle shoots, it may have caught Dixon. It goes past Seaman, it's 1-1 again.
Wednesday were to lose in extra time, but they'd proved a point. They were up with the very best and scoring golden goals.